A lot of addiction issues. I was toxic
I'm over
relationship.
here failing as an entrepreneur. I'm over here trying to get something.
I didn't even know what the heck marketing was at that point.
Start telling yourself things that aren't necessarily true.
I never made decisions based on money because I didn't have it.
When my mother passed away, it was closing a chapter for me.
Hey you guys, what's going on? It's Sal here, and this is the 7-Figure Interviews with Kevin Stever. The man, the myth, the legend, the affiliate guy, as some would say.
Yeah, on a very small scale.
Welcome to this show. Thank you so much
Pleasure.
for joining me.
Appreciate it.
So these interviews are basically really getting to know you. You know, like I see a lot of interviews on the internet, and they're just like, you know, like they're trying to sell stuff and that. But for this crowd that are subscribed to this channel, they're really like starting their entrepreneur. Maybe they're long-term entrepreneurs, and I'm not trying to give them advice. I'm trying to show them that yes, everybody has their own journey,
right,
and everybody has their own, you know, kind of path that they approach things at. And yours is kind of different because you're like one of the biggest affiliates. You know, I see you everywhere. You speak up for the, I don't want to say the weak, but you speak up for the ones that have been taken advantage of. We just talked off screen and
right,
how you paid an $840 bill for somebody else because they try to screw another person and this type of stuff. So I want to kind of get into who Kevin is. So where was the point in your career or when you started this kind of entrepreneurship path?
Yeah, you know, I'm old, so I spent about 25 years in the corporate space running sales teams for large manufacturing companies. So after, 25 years of constantly being on an airplane, had enough. I was like, okay, so I got out, and I stopped the heavy travel about 2012, 2013, and I went to work for an very large insurance group for a couple of years, and realized this is not fun. And but in the process, came up with an idea for an app, and in early 2016, so a little over 3.5 years ago, came up with an idea for my first app, and went, entrepreneur right out of the gate. Walked away from the corporate space with this insurance company.
What caused that? What was the? Because obviously you went from traveling and running around,
right,
and that I've traveled to over 50 countries, and it runs you ragged.
It does.
And although it seems like the rock star lifestyle, it is far from it.
In the very beginning, it was fun.
Yeah.
Then it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I just realized I couldn't do it anymore. And then working for this corporate company, I just realized I think I'm meant for something bigger than answering to some guy who has no clue what he's talking about, but because he's been with the company, it's a title he holds.
Yeah,
I just had enough. And I was just like, man, I could run circles around you running the sales team. And I mean, we had that discussion. He's like, well, that's not your position. So at any rate, came up with an idea for an app that complemented that industry, the insurance industry. And we launched this company called Exact Plus, found a couple partners for it. And I've been a full-time entrepreneur ever since. I walked away from the corporate job and went into business for myself in 2016, not too long, 3.5 years. And that's all I've been doing now. So I've been running projects that I'm 100% dependent on the success of. There's nobody behind me, nobody backing it. It's all on me. So it hasn't been really long, but I think the 25 years of history in the sales space, or maybe a little bit longer, grew me, positioned me for where I'm at now. And I think it gives, it lends itself well to some of the strengths I have in this space when it comes to the power of connecting, when it comes to the affiliate space. I mean, there's a lot involved in that as well.
Yeah, tons.
That includes connecting and building relationships. And so I've got, a long history of building and maintaining relationships. I think it's lent itself well to what I'm doing now.
So when you were like, you made that decision, right? You're like, I can run circles around him. I feel limited. I feel like I'm
right,
meant for more for this. You just did it. You're just like, you know what? I'm out.
Right.
And that's it.
We had a conversation. I said, you know what? I think I'm done. And he goes, what does that mean? I said, I'm done. I'm gonna go clear out my office. And he was just like, okay. I mean, I just signed a really big contract with a big company back in our home state. Paid me handsomely. And I was just like, this sucks. I just don't want to do this anymore. I literally walked by our offices and everybody's like, where are you going? I got a box with my stuff in. I'm like, I'm out. See y'all. Just kept going out the door.
What was it like the first day like? Was there like fear? There was what hit you?
A little bit. You walk away from a salary.
Yeah.
And now you are your salary. You're 100% dependent on raising income for yourself. Yeah. I didn't fear it. I really didn't.
What was kind of the mindset?
There's been moments. There's peaks and valleys in this space. There truly is. I mean, one month you're like, my God,
I'm the man.
I'm the man, making all the money. And the next month you're like, shit,
I'm broke.
Yeah, I'm broke.
I need to be the man again.
Yeah. How do I get back to being the man? So I mean, there's a whole lot of in this space. There's a whole lot in the learning curve, that plays a factor. I think the beauty for me is because of my background and what I did, I have a lot of confidence. So when I sit in a room with somebody, and when I'm speaking to is like investor boards. I've talked with funds and angels and all sorts of investment groups. I've probably pitched well over 100 investment groups in the last 3.5 years on projects. Wow. And I've been able to raise money. And to be honest with you, most of the money I've raised has actually been from seed investors, friends and family. $350,000 for a software project. We've raised about $500,000 for another software project. Just raised $10 million for a new company that we just launched. So I mean, all these things. I think like I said, a lot of what I've done in the past lent itself well for me having the belief in myself and what we can do with these projects. And so, I've got enough in savings that should I have a bad month, I'm fine.
Right.
But I still get out there, I still hustle as much as I can. I guess the beauty of this space too is I've learned a lot. I came into this digital marketing space about 18, 19 months ago. And there were so many things I knew I was going to do. I attended that funnel hacking event last year. Okay. I walked away with 13 ideas. And turned 7 of them into projects.
Is that something that in your entrepreneurship journey, is that something that kind of like you feel like, is that something that keeps sparking, is attending events, talking to people?
Yeah, you think about it and you learn things from folks and you're like, man, I could do something like that, or we should partner together, or whatever it might be. And so the beauty of that is shiny object syndrome kicks in. And
dark side.
Yeah, the dark side. You launch this and you launch this. And instead of giving 100% of you to one project, you're giving small percentages of you. I had 23 projects going at one time until about 3 months ago. I had 23 projects, from running, sales for a massive influencer to running business development for a really large affiliate marketing company, my own projects, our software. There's all these different projects that were all going at once. And it finally hit me one day. I was like, I'm going to run myself into the grave. I truly am. Being an entrepreneur is amazing. Yeah. Until it's not amazing. Yeah. And it's just like sleepless nights, all the other crap that comes into this. You go to bed at 3, you're up at 5.
It's
6.
Scary.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah, so you're out there hustling and doing all these things. And I think the biggest lesson I learned from all this was that I can't give all that I need to certain projects because I'm giving so much in all these different places. So in order to find success in some of these,
you have to drop some things.
You have to drop some things.
Focus.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll be honest with you. When Jay Shetty, you can all laugh at me now. When I called the Jay Shetty team, we all got on a Zoom call. Said, "Hey guys, I can't do this anymore. I'm resigning." And they're like, "Wait a minute, Kev," and I'm like, "I just can't. I'm not giving you guys the effort that's needed in this, and it's really dragging me down. And I've got a lot of projects going on, and I'm stepping back from a lot of things. And but it felt so good and refreshing to get off that Zoom call with them and okay, I'm done.
It's finished.
Here's the next one. Let's go close this down. Let's talk to that person. Let's say, hey, look.
Let's pause there for a second. So you've made a conscious decision. I did this with my Facebook feed and my groups, and I blocked out everybody. And you made this conscious decision to step back to be able to focus on what you really want to do.
Absolutely.
What is that like? Is it freeing? Is it fearing? Is it what?
Well, there was a lot of anxiety at first because I'm like, holy crap, I'm gonna have to. There's a book called Eat the Frog. I'm gonna have to eat the frog with these people. Thing I don't want to do, I'm gonna have to do. So they tell you in the book, eat the frog. Whatever the biggest frog is, whatever the biggest thing you're dealing with, eat it first. Get it out of the way because then everything else will be easier. Well, I was pushing all these things to the back of the list. Right. I'm like, okay, I'm not eating that frog yet. Anyway, to make a long story short, the day I just said, screw it, I'm doing this, I just started making all the calls. I get people, hey, can we jump on a Zoom call? And they're like, well, hey, wish the best to you, Kev. people that we're working with, working on some deals, and I just knew that I was not giving them the value that they needed for that position. I was working with another influencer in this space on a really large software launch, big deal, and we had a talk, and he's just like, I get it. He goes, I see, man. He goes, you are used, or better used somewhere else. So we walked away from some deals. But at first there was a lot of anxiety. But once I got the ball rolling and started with Jay Shetty, worked my way all the way down these lists. Once I started doing that, it felt so much better.
It's freeing, right?
Freeing. It's so freeing. And then the other piece of it too is I got to thinking, man, the event we're at right now. One day I was just like, I don't give a shit. I just don't care anymore.
Let's talk about that for a second, because I was caught up in it.
Right.
Most people
Absolutely.
start the popularity game, I gotta be in it, the fear of
I gotta
missing
be the
out,
influencer. I love it.
FOMO,
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
be the big
Absolutely.
dude on campus.
Right.
And honestly, to earn, there's nothing further from the truth. You don't get. I know, I deal with a lot of customers, retail space. Nobody knows who they are, and they're like multi-million, no
Right.
awards, no nothing.
Right.
They're invisible.
Right.
And they make more money than 90% of the
They're crushing
big. They're just yes.
Right.
So what was that like? Because there is a freeing thing, and I know because even when I was unfriending people on my own social, I was like, what are people gonna think when I have less than 5,000 friends or 4,000
Right.
friends or 3,000? What's the impression gonna be like? And I gave myself permission to just I don't fucking care.
I love that. I absolutely love it.
Like what is that? What did you face when you were making those decisions?
Well, so I'm friends with a couple of big influencers in the space, and they're really good friends. And we had a talk behind the scenes, and one of the gals, she was just like, this is gonna be the best feeling in the world for you. She goes, because I had that moment as well. I said, I'm ready, I'm done, I'm so done with
Do you
this
think it's
space.
a evolution to the next level?
Yeah, absolutely.
Clearing out the what
Well,
people think, how many friends you have, how many likes you're getting.
At one moment, you're just gonna be like, you're just gonna wake up, you're just gonna go, I don't care what you think of me anymore. I really don't. I mean, I thought for sure there was gonna be some anxiety involved when I went to a couple of I'm on their personal Facebook page, friends with them. The founders of this company. When I went right click, unfriend, it was the best. I was just like,
I did
bye.
I did that too.
Bye. So many big influencers in this space. Like bye. Right click unfriend. And it's been super freeing. And here's the crazy thing. So I came into this space in June of 2000. What is this year? 2019? No, 18. 2018. I came into this space and really didn't start to do anything much in it until about August, September. And from that August to September timeframe to about January of last year, so a year ago, I became the #1 person in that large group for engagement.
You were popular.
I was the top influencer in the group for engagement. Every weekly report they got, Kevin, Stephen, Quinn, right there at the top. They hated it.
Well, you took it as a job too. I saw you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You were like,
I was methodical in this process. The founder of the company, his own group, 225,000 people in it. One day he put a post up about 6 hours before I did. I put a post up. The next day, I had more comments and likes on my comment than the founder of the company. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And so I went for this. I got caught up in it. I thought I had to be the guy. I had to be the man in this space, spent a lot of time in there. I was marketing their products. I was doing everything in that community that you needed to grow in that space. And one day I just woke up and I was like, screw this crap.
do you think it's a trap?
Well, everybody gets caught in it. They really do, and they feed off each other. And so the hype. I mean, people. Hey, you need to talk to Kevin Stephen. I get tagged. You need to talk to Kevin Stephen. You get tagged. Even big influencers reaching out to me, going, "Hey, we'd love to partner with you. How do we do this?" I mean, there's a guy he's made about $100 million in the e-com space, and he reaches out to me. He's like, "Brother, we got to figure out a way to partner." I'm like, "You don't need me." I mean, dude, you've made $100 million in this space. You do not need me. And he's just like, no, that'd be fun. Let's figure something out. And I'm just like, so I went from that, and I got caught up in it. I really did. I was loving the fact that
it happened to me too.
Yeah,
So
I was loving the fact I was becoming an influencer in that space. And then just one day it just hit me, and I was like, really what hit me is, okay, I'm on the other side of life now. I'm not that young 20-something. I'm on the other side. I have young 20-something kids. And so how many more days do I have left on this big blue marble? And is what I'm doing now going to, really what I want in the end is I want my kids to respect everything I did
Respect their dad.
Yeah, and I wanted to do something that was more life-changing. And so I kind of fell in love with this organization, Underground Railroad. They help remove kids from the sex trafficking trade. Yeah. And that's became my purpose. And what I decided about 3 months ago is what I'm doing, this project, does that help me move the needle for that group? And if it's not, I'm getting rid of it. And I did. So I went from 23 projects to 4. All 4 projects that I'm involved in now are tied back to that nonprofit. So the beauty of it is everything we're doing, we're giving back to that nonprofit. So at the end of the day, when I leave this planet, I want my kids to go, man, my dad was amazing. Maybe he was a butthead back in the day, but he got his crap together. and I want them to. I want my kids to miss the dad they have now. That's what I want. And sorry, man. I want my kids to be proud of me. Yeah. And that's something I don't have with my parents because of the life I came from. When my mother passed away, it was closing a chapter for me that I needed. I don't want my kids to have that. And so I was like, man, I got to change my life now. I don't know how many days I have left. I want my kids to be proud of their dad when he goes. And so it was just like, I'm done. I'm out. And I want to do bigger things. And that lends back to what you were just talking about. I want people to treat people better.
Yeah.
People have got to be, you have to be honorable. And so in this space, that's what really got me tangled up in it. And I was just like, there's so many people that are, unethical in this space.
They're scumbags.
I'm like, I can't be in it anymore.
Yeah.
Because I get drug into it. And I want to battle for everybody.
Yeah.
And I can't. So at any rate, just started to pull back. It's been very refreshing the last 90 days to remove big names and to back out of this whole digital marketing space and just focus on the things that I think will help move the needle for me moving forward. So
and important.
Absolutely.
I think and for me too, I have 2 kids. They're not 20 something. My daughter's 4 years old. And in fact, I had an agency that I was at every day. And I stopped. And I knew, and my wife, same thing. I said, look, I'm going to move everything online because I don't want to miss a day, right. Especially now in the beginning.
Right.
I don't want to miss a single day. And I want my kids. And I tell you, I came from Israel. At 16, my mom got sick, really scleroderma, and the insurance here canceled her policy. So she had to move back to Israel where there's universal health care.
Right.
My dad's 84. My mom is now 69, and still alive. They gave her 5 years to live here, and I said, I don't want I grew up by myself here. I was left at 16. I had a choice. I wasn't left. I could have went back, but
right.
My life was here, and I knew that I could do something here, and I was like, I'm staying here. There's no way I'm leaving. So I stayed here by myself, without my parents. And I was traveling back and forth from Israel to spend time with my mom because right. I know that time is
limited. Yeah,
it's limited.
Right.
It truly is. So today, when I look at my kids, I'm like, wow, and it's the same thing. I was in pickup and dating before, and our advertising was all about sex. It was. The core of it was all about helping people find themselves, confidence,
right,
start
right.
realizing what's possible for them. But our marketing was all sex oriented because that's what's sold. And I realized that, my daughter's going to look back at this. This is online. I can't, there's thousands of articles. I can't get rid of them. They're there. And I had to come to terms with that. That's okay. And then I was just like, what are my kids going to think? And
right.
and that started changing things for me on a fundamental level. So I think that you taking these steps, of course, it's going to impact them.
Right.
100%.
Right.
So I respect that and admire that because I think that's a step that everybody should take. And
Absolutely.
I see you regularly speaking out for people. You regularly speak out against people that are below honorable. Let's just
that's the crazy thing. I've had people, big influencers, couple in the last week or so, reach out to me and say, "Kev, man, there's unwritten rules in this space. You don't call people out." I'm like, "Why don't you?"
I don't believe in that.
People get burned.
Yeah.
Why don't we protect those? Guru that's in the room just down the hall now, man. He last guy I heard of gave him $15,000 to build out this big project for him, this big funnel, and he never delivered it. Then he ghosted him and then blocked him.
Yeah, like
And I'm like, wait a minute.
the problem is because people like you do not stand up because unwritten rules of crap human beings.
Yeah.
People lose this faith also in the system itself.
Right.
That could potentially change their lives.
And how many people took the last money they had because they believed in this person and invested in it in them?
Yeah.
Because not everybody in this space is affluent. So I mean, they're throwing things on credit cards. They're pulling all the money out of savings to buy
They're
something.
going into debt.
Yeah. They believed so much in what you offered. They bought it, and then you failed them. And all you did was walk away with the cash, and you didn't help these people.
You know, like, look, I think at a certain point, it's also the responsibility of whoever is taking the action. But when you do something like, it's basically stealing or theft, when
Right.
you're saying you're going to do something and you don't deliver on your promise,
Theft.
it's theft.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you bought one of my Parks bags, if I don't deliver your Parks bag, I have literally stolen money from you.
Right.
The reality of it.
Right.
You know, obviously it's not going to happen. You're going
Right.
to get the bag, you're going to be happier than pig and shit because I've upgraded the bag a ton.
Yeah.
And I've included stuff that wasn't included before because for me it's important for my customer to have a really high experience with me in any business that I do.
Right.
I have a platform that builds websites, okay? 90% retention rate, no contracts. Why is that? It's because I care.
You take care of them.
It's my job. That's why they're paying me.
Right.
I'm not gonna scumbucket them and just screw them over so I can put another $50 or $100 in my pocket.
Right. Right.
Whether I'm broke as a joke or rich, it's irrelevant to me. What's relevant is my word that I say something gets done 100%. Like if I say something, it gets done. You could believe it.
Right.
Whether you think I'm showing off or you think I'm just talking trash, if I said it, I'm gonna do it.
Well, you're a man of your word.
100%.
Your word's everything.
Everything to me. So you know, like I respect that. So tell me. So now you've kind of freed yourself from this, right?
I have.
Do you feel what's the next step? How are you going to connect more with your kids? What's the next step for that part
Yeah.
of the journey? Because
that's,
your kids are older, right? So they're
Right.
out of the house. So
Right.
you actually have to take all the effort.
I do.
Because when
I
they're
do.
when they're younger, they take the effort.
Well, you know, I traveled so much for business growing up, or not during them growing up,
Right.
that I didn't get the time needed with them that I should have had. I think my last real heavy travel year was like 2010, and that year, out of 52 weeks, I think I was gone 43 weeks.
Wow.
I traveled a lot. And those were during impressionable years for my kids when I look back. I mean, you know, they're high schoolers. Dad's gone all the damn time. And so I missed a lot of things along the way. I missed big dances and dates and things that were going on because I'd be out of town on business, trying to make that money. And fast forward, now I'm just like, okay, how much money do you really need? I mean, really, how much do you really need?
Fundamental question here.
Yeah,
right?
I've got friends who, I've got a buddy started a dot-com company back in the 90s. Sold the majority interest in his company about 4 years ago. 90 days after he sold his majority interest, his 51% to an equity firm, they pushed him out as CEO and gave him the check for his last 49%.
Wow.
But this company at the time, the year he got bought out, that company did $690 million in revenue.
Wow.
So he's made a ton of money. This kid is he's 42. Let's see, 42. This kid is, I just got to guess, his buyout was probably $500,000 or $500 million of the company.
Wow.
Plus, he owned the company for 20 years.
Right.
Very
Plus he
profitable.
made whatever.
Monstrous amounts of money. That guy is still money hungry. That guy still is, it's all,
It's a trap. It's
yeah,
another
he's
trap.
caught in it. Mentally, he thinks, real estate and all the things he's in.
More money is gonna make you more
Yeah,
happy.
he tried to come in as an investor in one of my companies. And he's like, Kev, I'm coming in, you were friends. I'm coming into the room as an investor, not as your friend. I said, perfect. So my partner, I sat down with him over a bottle of wine. He offered us the money we were asking, but he wanted control of the company. I'm like, really? He's like, take it or leave it. I said, appreciate it, man. We're going to pass. It's about money. And I was just like, so it hit me. I was just like, how much do you really need? I mean, when I leave this planet, my kids are going to be fine.
You also don't take anything with you, right?
Right.
Like,
You don't
none
take it
of
with you. My kids are going to have it. I don't want to leave them everything. So I also, through my investment team, we created a foundation. So I have a foundation. All my money will go into a foundation. It will be disseminated, in tranches to some of the nonprofits that I believe in, that I give to. My kids will get their chunk of whatever it is. My kids don't get all my money. And then on the other side of it, I want to ensure that even after I go, I'm still taking care of these nonprofits with what's left. And so for me, I just had to step back from this and go, do I want to jump in with both feet into this industry and go make money in coaching and courses and get the stupid awards, go stand on a stage? I don't need that money. Like I said, my kids are going to be okay. The nonprofits will be taken care of. How many days do I have left, and what can I do to change what I miss with my kids now? So like you just said, I'm the one that has to proactively reach out to them now. Like my daughter was like, hey, sorry, I missed Grayson's birthday. My apologies. She lives a state away. I said, I'll be down the week after this event I'm going to. So next week I'm gonna go on. But I said, hey, there's a package on the way. And so I did. I shipped in this little driving tractor thingy that, drive around with a trailer on the back. So my daughter, Grayson, he's 4, and then she has a 10-month-old. So, she sends me a video of Grayson driving this little tractor around, pulling his brother in the back in a trailer who was laying there. And I'm just like, okay, I'm missing this crap. I'm missing it. I didn't want to be at this event. My partners talked me into coming. So I decided last minute to come in. Some connections, meeting with some people. I'm not promised. We just saw a major event, 4 or 5 days ago? Saturday. So less than a week ago, with a big name person, Kobe Bryant, losing him and his
Instant,
daughter
right?
going down.
He's worth $500 million.
Yeah, I guarantee you Kobe Bryant had big plans that afternoon or that night. Got on a helicopter, died. Everybody on that thing probably had plans. So you just never know.
You're not promised tomorrow.
Right. So for me, it's about how am I going to offload a lot of this so that I can focus on what's really important to me. So I've really stepped back a lot. The new company we just launched, I still will be able to spend a ton of time with my kids. It's, everything I do is online. All I gotta do is have internet access. I'll be able to manage what it is I'm doing. But really, at the end of the day for me, it was just, get away from all this, get out of all this FOMO crap and trying to be an influencer, because I just don't care. Just step away from it, focus on what, like I said, will move the needle for me, and will also give me more time to spend with my kids. Go be a better dad now. Not that I was a violent bad dad. I just wasn't there.
You weren't there, and that
there.
is.
Yeah, I want to be there more.
Yeah.
So that's a focus for me now.
I love that, and I think I have, like I said, I handle a lot of large clients with retail stores and such, and some of them are rich beyond 100% of the people here, and a lot of them are not happy, or a lot of them don't have that time.
Right.
Literally, when my wife got pregnant, 3 months before she was due, I closed my office. I moved everything to the house. I have 14 employees. I was like, you guys are working from home now. If you don't meet your deadlines, see you later. Right. I don't even want to give you hours. There's deadlines. I'll give you bonuses if you finish them earlier so we can take on more work. And I came up with a system eventually to control all of that from my phone. This event, right? I was like, talking to my videographer. I was like, wow, we got to go get, we built this platform. I want real quality stuff there. I don't want no more garbage. I don't want no more rants and trying to, I want to get into really what's going on.
Right.
Behind the scenes, behind the motive, behind all of that, who are the people that are making a difference? And I was like, but I don't want to miss any time with my kids. So they're in the car. We drove up here.
Nice.
Today, anything that I do and think, I think, how can I put everything together?
Right.
How can I not miss my time with my kids, but still run my business and still, build a new company or still, and that's what the show is. He was following me around for a whole month, right? Like, you got this. It's all about that. I'm running 6 businesses from house. Yeah. I got people, the meetings, videos. Kids are running around in my room because I refuse. I don't care if my client. They're like, oh, you're not focused enough on my campaign because your toddler's next to you. See you later. I don't even want your money.
Operate on your terms.
It's the only way that I do business. And I feel you because I was caught between that as well. So I think it's, first of all, I think it's
I'm happy for you that you were fortunate enough to realize that early.
Well, I traveled during my youth. And having my parents in another country and not being able to go
Right.
there for all the time, knowing my mom is sick. My dad was just in the hospital 2 days ago.
Right.
He had heart. He's almost 9 years old. He had heart palpitations, and they found something wrong with the EKG, and he was in the hospital. I didn't even know. I was driving up here. You know, like it's exactly that. Life is so fleeting.
Right.
That no matter how much money you have, time is really what matters.
Right.
Because there's no restart button. There's
You're
no
absolutely
let's
right.
try this again.
Right.
When it's done,
Right.
it's done.
Right.
And I think for me, the way I look at it is, and I told Mimi, I said, we technically live forever if we have kids. Because our genes, which is really what comprise us as human beings, gets transferred. I don't know if you've ever read The Red Queen, but it talks about DNA and evolution. Absolutely amazing book. Seduction coach, you know, like dating coach. So everything about sexual, the DNA, all of that. Like I study all that intimately. And it talks about basically you are not you. You are just a pile of genes that are created by your parents. You're technically a portion of your parents put together that still exists even if they passed.
Right,
They're
right,
in you.
right.
You are them.
Right.
And your kids, same thing. When you pass, you're still living because your DNA continues. Even though it's evolved, a portion of your genes and your DNA
Right.
runs completely. So ultimate success in life is having kids. The ultimate success of that is spending the majority of your time with them, because
Right.
technically you're spending the majority of the time with you as a circle. So it's, I know it's
No, it's good. I
big
like it.
picture
Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
here, but
Yeah.
so definitely, and the fact that you're now on that mission, and you realize, you know, like, wow, if so many of this, and even saying it, right? Because most influencers, most affluent people would not say stuff like that, right? They
Right.
wouldn't be like, you know, like they wouldn't do it.
Right.
So realizing what's important, I think, it's already a win.
Appreciate that.
forward.
Honestly, I hope everybody has that epiphany moment.
Well, you
And
know,
realize
like,
what's important.
You gotta understand that by talking about it here on this show, people will watch this.
Right.
Okay, when I say will, I'm gonna make people watch this because I'm gonna market to them to
Yeah,
watch this
yeah.
stuff. And I think these type of this, because it's an amazing and impactful thing here, that before you start thinking about popularity and thinking about money and thinking about that, just thinking about your real inner circle, right? Your family, your DNA, your blood, your friends, the people that are close to you, and most importantly, your time.
I was just talking with a friend about it this morning, back home. She's like, "How's the event?" I said, "I wish I was home." Said, you know, I'm just not caught up in this stuff anymore. I have some good friends in this space. I'm happy to see them here, but I'd rather be home. I mean, I'd rather be you know, hanging with the kids or hanging with the grandkids, doing whatever. But I'm here in a space which I woke up in a few months ago and realized I didn't want to be in it anymore. I'm just so done with it.
That happened to me,
Yeah.
right? At the beginning of the month.
I mean, I'm still doing some projects that'll involve some
Of
folks in this
course,
space.
you've already committed to things.
Right,
You have to
right.
do what you
I gotta
have
follow
to
through on
do.
it.
If you're honorable, right? Because that's what
Absolutely.
honorable people do.
Yeah, I'm not
you
giving
said
up on it.
something,
Right.
you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do, and then
Right.
when it's the right time, you're gonna eject yourself from that.
I mean, I could still be out there. I, to be honest with you, I could be inside the venue right now. I could have on the tag. I didn't even buy a pass to it because I'm just not going in. And so I could still be in that space, and I could still be growing my name, and as an influencer in that space. Just it doesn't excite me anymore. It just doesn't.
But I think you came to the core thing, and I think just being here and sharing this, I think other people are going to get to that core thing, and
Absolutely.
change. We were listening. You read already Fire Aim, right? So he's talking about the droplets, right? The water. I think that's happening globally on social media. I think people are waking up. The older demographics, maybe the kids are still all TikTok-y and
Right.
all that stuff,
Right.
but the ones like us that have been on MySpace and been on Facebook and been on Instagram and been around for a while and have seen the trends and the revolution of the global popularity contest, I think at a certain point you realize you're getting older, your kids are getting older, things are changing, and with constant events, deaths, bombings, sickness out of nowhere,
Right.
volcanoes, eruptions, like just,
Right.
right? Like constantly the world is doing its thing. Besides all the crazies out there, your time is not promised.
You're right.
And I think that in itself, I think it's going to change some people's lives for real, because it doesn't. People think that it's like this big thing to change somebody. It's not. To change somebody's life is to change their perspective in just one direction, and the rest of their lives change. We talked about this outside, and I think that what you've come to that conclusion of will change some lives that watch this show.
A paradigm shift.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to have it.
Yeah.
It truly is. I mean, mentally we block ourselves from it because we think and we think and we
Fear.
think. Yeah,
Fear.
we have to. Yeah, fear and anxiety, and we have to, and we have to, and we have to. When you finally have that moment, you're like, I don't have to.
Right.
I really don't have to, and you can step back from it.
Right.
It's freeing. It's so refreshing, and really, then you're able to define what's truly important, what really matters, and focus there. Hey, I'm old. I wish I would have had this moment 30 years ago, 25 years ago.
But you've literally probably helped some younger entrepreneurs that are in this space,
Right.
or getting into this space,
Right.
have that moment now.
Get things right with your parents. Get things right with your kids, your friends, your family, whoever it might be. Get all that shit straight as fast as you can.
It's the most important.
Yeah, because you're not promised another day. Hell, I'm not promised another hour.
That's right.
You just never know. And there's a whole lot of what ifs.
Yeah.
What could have been. Don't have those.
I love it. Kevin Stevens, ladies and gentlemen, go check him out if you haven't already. See you on the next one. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate it.